Ladies and gentlemen, Laurie Cardozo-Moore proclaiming justice to the nations to give you an update on what we're up to this week at PJTN. I want to thank all of our supporters and your kind words. We've gotten many emails thanking us for the stand that we have been taking with regards to education. But I'm also hearing from some of you about your concern and frustration about what's happening to this country. And I want to just encourage you that, even though we don't have, many of us have been silenced, whether it's through YouTube, through the social media platforms, and we're not able to connect and get our information out. And I just want to stress to you, that's why what PJTN does is so critically important. We have been saying for a long time that we were going to get silenced, we were going to get shut down by social media outlets, and the only reliable source of communication is either through this email list that you're getting this message every week, or through our programming, through our award-winning content that is broadcast on Christian networks. Christian networks are our only avenue to get our message out with truth, and not have our voices suppressed or silenced. This is critically important, and I want to talk to you about that this morning. But right now, I just want to reiterate, as many of you are watching what's happening on the news, one of the things that is being covered both on Fox News and other media outlets, even on Rumble, you can see the videos. People are taking back local control of their children's education. We have been warning, we have been sounding the alarm at PJTN for over a decade, telling people we have got to, in fact, I was just having a meeting with one of our donors and we were talking about this. He's been with us for over a decade. And I said to him, I said, remember what happened. Remember, we were the first ones to see this. We were the ones who were calling these people out. We were the ones that were sending the alarm bells off and telling people, look at your children's curriculum, look at the textbooks, look at what they're being taught. And sure enough, here we are. But here's the positive thing in all of this, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to encourage you. Do not get frustrated. Do not get overwhelmed and feel like we are outnumbered. We are not outnumbered. There are more for us than are against us. And we are getting our message out to people of faith, both on Jewish networks and on Christian networks. People of faith are looking to these sources for information. And that's why our media, our programming, our Focus on Israel show is so critically important. We have to continue to get the facts out, because the left wing or the mainstream media is not going to get our message out, ladies and gentlemen. They're not going to tell you the truth. And we are, of course, PJTN's unique perspective is from a biblically oriented perspective. The Bible is the thrust of everything we do. If we can't find it in the Bible, you're not going to see us doing it here at PJTN. But I just want to encourage you, because parents and citizens are mobilizing. We are witnessing them taking over school board meetings. It is happening all over the country. It's just not, in one place. We are seeing it more and more and more. It's because you are rising up. You are giving voice to your concerns. You are not being intimidated by these people that are trying to destroy our country. Whether it's the teachers, the left-leaning teachers, the teachers' unions, the presidents of these teachers' unions and these teaching organizations, we are winning. We are seeing the most egregious efforts to revise our history, to revise the Holocaust, to now even revise anti-Semitism. This is outrageous that this is happening. With the history revisionism, the critical race theory that is being promoted in classrooms across this country. We've been watching the news this past week, and teachers are publicly coming out in states like Florida and Texas, and they are defying their government's orders, their government's laws. And so now these state legislatures are going to have to take action with regards to them. But we see even with the Holocaust revisionism, we saw the battle, and we're still seeing the battle being waged over Holocaust revisionism, even in Florida with its Holocaust standards, limiting the information about the Holocaust, trying to water down or whitewash the Holocaust, making it just like any other genocide. You know, when the state says that they are going to implement Holocaust standards K through 12, then those Holocaust standards K through 12 need to be about the Holocaust. If they want to, if the state legislature across this country, any of the states, want to introduce genocide legislation that we're going to teach our kids about genocide, great. Teach about the genocides that have happened. Include the Holocaust in those genocide, in that history, in that information. But when it comes to the Holocaust should not be revised. It should not be watered down. The Holocaust was a separate situation to all of these other places. And when you're teaching about the Holocaust, it should be about the Holocaust. Hitler's final solution was not to the Gypsy question or the communist question or any other question. Hitler's final solution was to the Jewish question. And if we are going to say that we are going to teach K through 12 Holocaust standards to our children, then it needs to be about the Holocaust. And ladies and gentlemen, one of the new disturbing trends that I am seeing now is the revision of anti-Semitism. Now we have even leaders who say that anti-Semitism and its hatred is no different than any other racist hatred. Ladies and gentlemen, anti-Semitism is unique to the Jews. We all know it. Again, these people are revising history. We cannot tolerate it. It's very dangerous. God calls Israel and the Jewish people the apple of his eye. And in fact, in Zechariah 2 verse 8, he says that he who touches Israel touches the apple of his eye, of God's eye. We cannot water down these truths. Israel and the United States, we have to teach about Israel. We have to teach about our Jewish brethren. We have to teach about the connection between the Jews and Christians in the founding of this country. It is critically important. If we don't protect Israel, ladies and gentlemen, and we don't protect our Jewish brethren in this country, we can kiss this country goodbye, because God's judgment will be poured out upon this nation. By reviewing our history, which is uniquely connected to Israel, to the Jewish people, we see and we share that, we can share that message with the world, with the next generation, with our next generation of children, because our children need to grow up knowing why is America and Israel and that relationship so unique. And the only way we can do that is by teaching the role that Jews have played in our nation's history, in our founding, like Haym Salomon, who bankrolled the American Revolution. He was a friend of George Washington's. Like the Jewish men who fought in the American Revolution. They gave their lives for this country to establish this country. Like the Toro Synagogue, who wrote to George Washington after the Revolution, asking them how the Jewish community will fare. And George Washington went and visited them and quoted from the book of Leviticus that they too will be able to sit under their own vine tree and that they will know peace. Basically telling them, this is the United States, or it was going to be the United States of America. This is a country, the United States of America was not going to tolerate, or those colonies at the time was not going to tolerate the anti-Semitism that Jews have known historically wherever they have been. And that's why it's important, so that we not do as God warned the Israelites back in Judges chapter 2 verse 10, that there arose a generation who knew not the Lord and what he had done for Israel. So ladies and gentlemen, I go back to what we started, what I communicated at the beginning of this video. Our media is critically important to spreading across the globe. We have to get the truth out about what's going on. This is an attack. It's a demonic spiritual attack against America and Israel. We are both in this battle together, and we need to stand side by side with one another. We cannot tolerate lies and disinformation in our children's curriculum, in their education. And that starts with us. That's why you see the parents and citizens at these school board meetings who are irate and are taking back. They are drawing a line in the sand and saying, you will not use our children as propaganda guinea pigs. And ladies and gentlemen, that's where you and I come in. That's why education is important. That's why our videos, our programs, our documentaries are so critically important to share with your family and friends. We cannot afford to lose this generation. We've lost 3. We can afford to lose no more. And I also just want to remind you that there is a video. I want you to watch the video below this message. It's a link that our PJTN team produced. It talks about this new anti-Semitism revisionism. You've got to be informed. You need to watch this video. You need to share this message with your family and friends. Inform them so that they will stand against it too. Anti-Semitism is unique to Jew hatred. It's always been that way, ladies and gentlemen. But now the powers that be want to change that definition too. And finally, I also just want to let you know that in order to help get our media back on the air, many of you know that we used to be on Daystar TV. We've launched a campaign to raise the money to get that show back on the air so that we can educate Christians, Jews, all people of conscience around the globe, like what we were doing on Daystar. But we have to raise $500,000. One of our major donors just made a generous $100,000 challenge grant, not only to our other major donors, but also to you, to our smaller donors. We need your help. We need for you to invest in these programs, help us raise the money. We have to raise $500,000 to get our show back on the air every week, every Sunday night, just like we did before, so that you can enjoy our Focus on Israel shows that we're producing. We're still producing them right now. They're on our website. We need to get them off the website and out to the world. And that's where you come in. And I cannot do it without you. I need your financial support. We need your prayers in order to make this happen. So all that said, God bless you so much. Again, if you like this message, please hit the button below, hit the share button. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do it now. If you haven't gone to our website to sign up to get on our mailing list because somebody forwarded you this video, please do that so that we can keep you informed so that you can mobilize to action in your community. God bless you, and thank you all so much for all you do on behalf of our Jewish brethren, the state of Israel, and these United States.